Hello and welcome to We Random, episode 46. We are recording on July 27th, 2021. B, I got a question for you. If two vegans get in an argument, is it still called a beef? More after this.
Almost Qualified Productions.
Let's get crazy!
Experts don't have this much fun.
Welcome to We Random, episode 46. I'm Brian. That's Christopher over there. Say hello to the people, Christopher.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
So, for those of you who are new to the show, welcome. For those of you who are veterans of the show, welcome back. As you know, this is We Random. This is where Christopher and I get mad online. So, tonight,
Yes.
we have a whole wonderful wheel of topics where we will get mad online about things from Aaron Rodgers to the Milwaukee Bucks, to COVID, to Coke Zero. But who knows what's going to come up? No one knows, because it's our random wheel of doom.
That's
So
right.
we will spin this wheel, see what comes up, and then we have a very special, enjoyable random rankings just for you, loyal listener.
That's right. It's an interesting one. And I normally, so generally how this works, and I got to remember my camera's not up there, it's down here now. I also have a completely different layout here, so there's going to be some flubs. Deal with it. Give me a little bit of grace. But the way this generally works is Brian and I, like, we throw a bunch of stories together that we want to talk about, that we want to put on the wheel, and then over the course of Sunday, Monday, sometimes Tuesday, probably Brian puts together a run sheet that we look at, and then normally on Tuesday, right before we do the podcast, I go out after work, I smoke a cigar, I read through the articles, make sure that I'm up to date on all of them. And then I look to see, the surprise is, what's our random ranking? And the one today threw me off a little bit. I was like, oh, I need to put a little bit of effort into this one ahead of time. So I've got a thing all set up. So I'm ready to go. So I'm excited for this one. Should be good.
Awesome. Well, do you have any words of wisdom for our people before we get going today here, or should we just let the wheel do its doom?
Insert obligatory Mr. Rhythm quote from DC Cab. And I'm going to spin the wheel. You can look it up, chat.
Dun, dun.
We're going to start off with Simone Biles.
Oh, so this was a late addition to the wheel this week because USA gymnast Simone Biles withdrew from the women's team gymnastics final at the Tokyo Olympics, citing mental health concerns as she attempts to protect her body and mind. Biles, age 24, made the decision to withdraw from the team event, telling USA staff and her teammates that they needed to do the rest of the competition without her. She said that her teammates and staff said that she would be fine and they watched her warm up, but she told them that I know I'll be fine, but I can't risk a medal for you all and I need to call it. Now, the reason that I put this on here is I don't know really how to feel about this one because obviously this is so new and like it literally was something that happened hours ago, right?
Yeah.
And this is just very interesting. It's a very interesting kind of connection to what we talk about a lot with the mental health space and people taking care of themselves, but it also crosses directly into machismo sports culture. And I'm thinking of, back in 2008 when Mike Singletary is like, I would rather play with 10 people than have 11 people on this team with one person who doesn't want to be a part of this team and like all of this stuff. So I was just like, I saw this and I'm like, I have no earthly idea how to feel about this. Like, it's none of my business, but I just thought it would be an interesting thing to talk about. So, what are your thoughts?
Well, it's funny because I'm really, really glad this came up because this was going to be my extra point when we got to it. Because I've been following this one pretty closely throughout the day. And basically, what I've been able to pick up, and obviously there's not a lot of stuff out there, but just first of all, to kind of level set for those who don't really follow the Olympics or aren't into all that, the U.S. Women's Olympic gymnastics team is like a juggernaut. They've won, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 gold medals in a row in the all-around competition. And Simone Biles is like next level. Maybe arguably one of the best, if not the best ever to do this. And so it's like Michael Jordan in his prime kind of thing, right? And so there was super high hopes they were going to come in, they were going to get the gold, she'd probably get the all around gold and all of that. And she went through her first routine in the overall team competition, and things didn't go quite right, and she wasn't feeling it. She just mentally she wasn't there, and she decided to step aside. And I think to Brian's point, like we talk a lot about mental health and protecting your mental health here, and I think this is a very interesting thing to do. Like, I mean, you have to take care of yourself first and foremost, right? Like, I would argue, and it's probably not an argument, that none of us that are either speaking here or watching, or anybody that listens or watches after the fact, none of us have been in a position of that much pressure, that much prestige, that big of a spotlight. None of us ever have, and probably never will be, right? Like, this is the greatest person in that sport probably ever, and the spotlight's on him in the biggest competition there is. And to step away from that takes guts, like next level guts. I am proud of her for doing that. If she is in a place where her mental health is not okay and she needed to take care of herself, just imagine the pressure on her to not do that, and to actually stand up and do that, I think is amazing. Now, if you look at the message boards and Facebook and Twitter, obviously there's a lot of people who have very negative opinions. And I saw a comment from a friend of ours, actually a friend of the stream in a way, Z-Dub's wife, P-Dubs, who commented on somebody else's comment on Facebook. And I don't have it in front of me, so I can't quote it exactly, but it was basically, she doesn't owe you a damn thing. Like, as a person complaining, like, oh, you let your team down, you let us down as a country, blah, blah, blah. And she doesn't owe anybody anything, right? Like, she owes herself to take care of herself. That's the most important thing. So the fact that she was able to do that and did do that, like, I have a passing interest. I love the Olympics, although I haven't really watched it a lot this year. So yeah, do I want the U.S. to do well? Do I want us to win all the golds, et cetera, et cetera? Absolutely. But I'm more happy that she's taking care of herself. Like, that's a hell of a lot more important.
Yeah, that makes sense. And one of the thoughts that I had about this is maybe, just maybe, this is showing incremental progress. Because if we think about it, like you said, there are some negative comments online, I'm sure, but I didn't really see a whole lot. I saw a lot of people saying, yes, this is great that you, as a woman, and especially a woman of color, you are taking care of yourself and you are advocating for yourself first and saying, this is what I need to do for myself right now versus, caving to the pressure of whoever else, right? And like, I think about, I made the comparison of Ricky Williams, the former NFL player.
Yep.
Like, we all know that there was a lot of stuff going on with Ricky Williams, but he was far ahead of his time
Yeah.
in terms of how we as a country, how we as a sports complex looked at mental health and how we valued mental health, right? Because a lot of people are like, this dude's just weird
Yeah.
and he can either be with us or we're just going to leave him behind, right? As to where there's a lot of people here who are being very supportive and they're like, no, like, it's great that you did this for yourself. And like, in a weird way, I almost take that as progress, that it's not that very toxic, like, talk. Like, I thought about this, like, so with Giannis, for example, his brother was in the COVID protocols. And what if Giannis would have been like, I can't focus, I can't play because I'm thinking about my brother? Like, how do you feel like people would have handled that? I don't feel like toxic male sports culture would have handled that
Oh
very
God,
well at
no.
all.
It would have been much worse. Things would have blown up. And I think
Yeah.
this echoes back, and I'm going to get to Emily's comment here in just a second because that's huge. But I'm going to echo back to Naomi Osaka, who's a big tennis star, like one of the top 2, 3, 4 in the world, who bowed out of a, what was it, Wimbledon? I don't think it was Wimbledon. It might have been the French Open. Where I think it was the French Open, where they basically told her, you have to talk to the press. And she's like, I don't want to talk to the press because it drains me mentally. And so she sat out. She didn't go to the tournament. This is one of the biggest stars in the world of tennis who said, my mental health is more important. So to your point, things have changed a lot from when everybody laughed at Ricky Williams for wearing his helmet during an interview. You know what I mean? Things have changed a lot. And yes, to your point, you're looking at NFL, which is the big bravado, sport, guys running into each other and puking on each other or whatever, versus women in their sports. And so I'm sure that's going to play a little bit of a different role. But I want to get to what Emily said here, because this is kind of mind blowing, and obviously, and I would even say that my respect for Simone Biles like went up 10 times on this. But Emily's saying that one of the main reasons she returned is because so originally she wanted to retire, but she felt like she needed to come back because she's one of the last competing victims of this huge scandal that was, I think it was a sexual assault scandal. I'd have to look it up to verify. But there was a huge scandal. Let me look it up really quick while I'm talking. Da, 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 da. I think it was a sexual assault thing. Regardless, I'll look it up. And there was definitely abuse, and he abused God knows how many gymnasts. He was the Olympic doctor. He abused all sorts of people, and apparently she was one of the last competing victims, and she was afraid that if she retired, that this would just get swept under the rug. So that's super, super interesting. Sexually assaulted hundreds of girls. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. So yeah, I mean, if she makes if she's come out and said that, that's like super next level. Like that's, I don't even know what to say. Like that's super impressive.
Yeah, I just thought it was an interesting topic to kind of broach because it really intersects a lot of the things that we talk about. Because there's the, sports culture, which is kind of its own thing. And then there's mental health culture, which is definitely typically on the opposite end of what we tend to see of as sports culture. Because sports culture is often literally like, rub some dirt on it. We would rather you like literally die on the field representing your team versus, representing yourself, right? And
Yep.
then it's just interesting. So, I'm sure there's more to come, and it'll be interesting to see if this helps other people to feel like they can step away and take care of themselves versus like pushing through some of these things. And I think, and I don't know, this is a whole other conversation because there will be people who will say, oh, well, what about resiliency? And what about this? And what about that? But again, these people don't owe you anything. So
Yeah.
you don't know what's going on. So you have no real right to judge that.
Well, and I don't want to put words in her mouth, but if to Emily's point, if this was, she wanted to make sure that what happened to her and hundreds of other girls didn't get swept under the rug, being the best gymnast in the world and perhaps the best gymnast ever, and going to the Olympics, and then saying, no, I don't want to play, I don't want to compete, like that could you have a bigger spotlight on you at that point? So if she's looking to send a message, and I don't know that she is, but if she's looking to send a message, that's a hell of a way to get all eyes on you to send a message. So it'll be interesting to see how this shakes out.
Definitely. Well, let's spin the wheel and see what else we can get mad. Well, we didn't even really get mad
You
about that.
can't
So
get
we have
mad at
not
that at
gotten
all.
mad online yet.
Like super proud. And this, I'm not gonna get mad at this either, or maybe I will. NBA 2K22. Why are we talking about a video game, B, that neither of us plays?
I think you're going to get mad about this one just because of who the cover athletes are. But you won't be mad that Chicago Sky forward Candace Parker will be the first female athlete on the cover of NBA 2K when the game releases in September. Parker will be on the cover of a special edition of NBA 2K22 in North America that is sold at GameStop, and apparently EB Games is still alive. Who knew?
Who goes to
But
the mall anymore? That's the only
the
place I live.
other cover athletes are Luka Doncic and bump 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 Christopher's arch nemesis Dirk Nowitzki.
I don't hate
So
Dirk Nowitzki.
yeah, but like he was always a pain for your
Well, that's
Spurs.
true.
So
He
that's
was.
that's
If
why
you
I figured that he would be your arch
if you
nemesis.
would have said Kawhi, then we would have had some issues. But no,
So
the only thing that I don't like about this is that she's only going to be on select covers. Like, if you're going to make a point, put her on every fucking cover. You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you do that? It's stupid.
they just want to sell stuff because they're like,
I
oh, well,
I
we'll
get
sell
it, but like this is
Luka.
the opportunity to really make a point, right? Now I could see if there's not a women's portion of the game, right? Like if you can't also play the WNBA within the game, which if they don't have that, they should 100% have that. That would be amazing. So I could kind of see that, right? Like
Yeah.
this is an NBA game, and it would be like putting Christian Yelich on the cover of Madden. Like it just doesn't make any sense. He's not part of that game. But if you're gonna do it, go all in. Like don't half-ass it. That's the only thing I got
I
an
just
issue with.
think that they're doing a very like subtle toe tap into the water. Like, hey, we're gonna do this, but let's
Yeah,
also sell this stuff with Kawhi and Luca,
not Kawhi.
or not Kawhi, but yeah.
Nowitzki.
See, now you have me thinking about Kawhi.
Fucking Kawhi. Yeah, no.
Anyway,
So I'm not angry about it. I just think that they could have done it better. That's it.
yeah, that's fair.
All right,
All
let's
right,
just
let
move on.
us
Not much more to
move on
say.
to our next
It
topic.
is super, super awesome that she's on the cover, though. I don't want to underscore that. That's super, super amazing. Now B's going to get angry because we're going to talk about everybody's favorite quarterback, Gardner Minshew. No, Aaron
So,
Rodgers.
Blake Bortles, we
Blake
got a
Bortles.
snake, man. Anyway, so in the 97 twists, turns, and tweets of Aaron Rodgers, sources have now said that Aaron Rodgers plans to report to Green Bay training camp. And in fact,
He's
there were
there.
pictures
That's
and
right.
video
He's
of him
there.
being at training camp.
It's amazing. He
So
exists.
so basically, what all of these talking heads have decided is that the Packers and Rodgers came together and they said, we'll restructure your deal and we'll void the 2023 year of your contract where you won't be able to be franchise tagged or anything like that. We'll also agree to review your situation at the end of the 2021 season if you're still unhappy. We'll adjust the contract so that we have more cap room, and then we'll put some things in place to address any other issues that you have with the team. So now there's just lots of hubbub and things and stuff. And for me, like, I was more mad when it's just like every single day we're just talking about this. And I feel like, and I
ESPN
don't
culture,
know,
baby.
when I don't know if it's Rodgers. I don't know if it's the NFL, but there were specifically timed things where they're trying to shit on everyone. So for example, back when the Bucks were playing, they're like, "Oh, we're going to release this thing about Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to come to Green Bay like during game 6 of the NBA finals. Oh, we're going to release this thing that Devontae Adams doesn't want to sign a contract because Aaron Rodgers is mad like the day of the Bucks parade." They're like, "Oh, well, maybe during the Packer shareholder meetings, we're going to hold the administration's feet to the fire, so to speak. But as soon as that shareholders meeting ends, oh, Aaron Rodgers is coming now. And we agreed to this. And Aaron Rodgers wants compensation. So he wants Randall Cobb back. And hey, look, the Packers are in discussions trading for Randall Cobb. And it's just like, what is going on? Like, this is all of this, like, prefabricated. It's like they went and they storyboarded this out for 6 months to just like create content. And I'm just like, I'm done with it. I'll see you on September 12th. If you're there, great. If you're not there, great. I don't need the 38 twists, turns. I'm not watching this story as a sitcom. I'm not, this is not a sitcom to me. I don't care about every single twist and turn in your life, Aaron Rodgers. If you want to be in Hawaii wearing a Speedo with your new wife, cool. Don't care. I don't need to know that. I don't need to know that you have a plane that went to Albuquerque and now you're in Albuquerque, but now you've left Albuquerque and you're going to Green Bay. Like, why do we need to know this?
On the flip side, let me throw an alternate argument out there. There's a lot of people that don't give a shit that the Bucks won the NBA championship. Like they don't give a shit. Like people don't care. Like I'm not a Bucks fan. Like I care a hell of a lot more about Aaron Rodgers and the Packers than I do the Bucks.
Do you care that Aaron Rodgers is in Albuquerque and that he is maybe on a plane, but not on a
Like
plane, but possibly on a plane?
I care more about what's happening and if he's going to play for the team this year, especially because we have no backup quarterback. So I care. Like I don't care if they released it. Like Adam Schefter, who's releasing this shit, like he's not watching the NBA finals, most likely, right? He's an NFL beat guy. He's doing his job. If he gets information, he's going to release it, whether it's game 6 of the NBA finals or the Bucks parade or who the fuck else cares. Plus, we already know that the national media doesn't give a shit about Milwaukee and the Bucks anyway. So, like, that's just an alternate take. I get it. You were frustrated because you're focusing on the Bucks, but a lot of people don't give a shit, right?
Well, it's not
Like,
even that. It's this created content. Like they are trying to draw attention to themselves,
but you
right?
called
Like,
out specifically the release schedule. That's why I'm speaking to that.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. The release schedule in my mind is to draw attention to themselves, to get people talking about Adam Schefter and ESPN and all of the sources, right? Which I get. because you are a content company. You need to make money. How do you make money? Controversy. Controversy creates cash.
Well, this is ESPN. This is what sports is. This is why sports radio and every offshoot of it is the dumbest shit in the history of the world. Maybe even this podcast too. I don't know. It's just fucking stupid because that's all it is. Is they just pump out shit. Stephen A. Smith saying I don't want to go to Milwaukee is nothing but him just firing people up and getting people pissed. Right? That's what they do because to your point, it means people are gonna give me views and they're gonna watch our TV show and blah 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 blah. So of course that's what it is. But again, it's still a fair news story to some degree, right? Like if there's a situation where the MVP of the fucking league isn't going to play for his team because as we all fucking know, they're a shit organization in the way that they've put him, in a position to win, then yeah, that's a fucking story, man. Like, yeah, we got to talk about that.
Well, it's just funny to me because it's like it's basically becoming a TV drama, right? Like last week on Days of Our Lives, Devonte Adams is mad at the Packers and they're going to break up. But oh, now that Aaron Rodgers is back, Devonte Adams is now once again open to listening to contract negotiations, and it's just like I don't know. I try very hard not to get caught up on these like the one of the podcasts that I listen to calls it the farts and whistles, right? It's like don't listen to the farts and whistles because everything like they're throwing all of this content at you for a reason. Like you said, to get you riled up, to get you frustrated, to get something.
Yeah, that's fair. So you just don't give it to them. Don't go to fucking ESPN.com. Don't watch ESPN. Don't go to their stupid website, right? That's all there is to it. And then you win. Stick it to the man, right? Like I don't give a shit who's saying that. I'm not gonna watch, Jason Whitlock or Stephen A. Smith or whoever the fucking these talking heads are on ESPN. I don't care about any of them. I don't care what they say. I just don't care, right? But
Right.
here's the one thing it did do is it engaged me in conversation with a bunch of people I like to talk to. So I consider that a win.
Right. Well, so let's talk about this. So for me, when I look at this and I kind of take the media part aside, because I'm generally pro media, this one just kind of annoyed me in the way that it's been portrayed. But I feel like this is a very like NBA style contract
What
because
an what
we've
an
seen this.
insult.
We've seen this in the NBA a lot. Like think about LeBron. Like LeBron every year is on a 1-year contract, right? Like he's got all this money, but like every year he gets to decide if he's going to opt in or if he's going to opt out or if he
Right.
gets a trade or if he doesn't want to trade or if he wants them to go get XYZ player. Like that's basically what Aaron Rodgers is asking for here. And it's basically what it sounds like he's going to get. So it makes me kind of just think about that kind of NBA contract
It's
logic.
just 12 months ago we got the same thing with Tom Brady, right? And where's he going to sign? And then once he's signed, it's who's going to come play with him and blah blah blah. It's the same thing, right? It's just the same thing. Like if all they did was report on this was the score and this is what happened in the game, like they'd be out of business. Like that's not what they do. It's fair to say I understand calling them media, but probably 95% of this is not media. It's not journalism at all. It's just opinion. It's just people spouting off at the mouth. That's what it is. And I don't
Right.
know
I
what
mean,
social currency is, but apparently I just defined it. So I guess that's a good thing,
ah,
according to Ellie.
all right.
But yeah,
Cool.
so if we think so let's talk about like is Aaron Rodgers going to be any good this year? Like are they going to make actual moves? Like apparently they're going to talk to Randall Cobb. I don't know where they're going to dig him up and pull him out of his casket, but maybe he's in Houston or something. I don't know, but
I mean, so here's how that conversation went. Aaron Rodgers goes, if Tom Brady gets to have a washed up wide receiver that he can handpick, I want one too. And the Packers go, Aaron, I know what you're thinking. Jordy Nelson is very happy in retirement. And then Aaron Rodgers goes, okay, fine, give me Jake Kumaro. And the Packers guys go, we don't even know if Jake Kumaro is still in the league. But hey, I got one for you. How about Randall Cobb? And Rodgers kind of sits back in his chair for a minute and he thinks and he goes, done. At least he's not Jeff fucking Janis.
I mean, there's that. I mean, if Kumaro's not in the league, then he'd be cheaper than Randall Cobb. I'm just throwing that out
Technically,
there. But
Kumaro is still in the league.
oh
But
well, there you go. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I again, I think a lot of this when again you have to assume how much of what's been told is accurate, but It certainly seemed to me, based on the things that Rodgers was doing and what little bit he did say, like he was taking care of him. And I don't have any issue with that. I mean, let's look at the world of sports. It is like the team controls everything. Players have no control over what happens with them. And do I think that they need and deserve all the control? No, they definitely don't, right? Like some players like Brady and James, LeBron have really used that to their advantage and probably not a great way. Did Rodgers use that to his advantage and not a great way this time? Maybe to a degree. But I also have been incredibly vocal that I feel the Packers have done him an incredible disservice. The fact that they've only won one Super Bowl with this guy, who is arguably one of the top quarterbacks to ever play, is disgusting. They continue to throw shit on the offensive side of the ball and say, well, just turn him into something. I mean, Randall Cobb is not a great fucking wide receiver, but he turned into one for a year or two because of Aaron Rodgers, right? Kumaro and even John Tunyon, for fuck's sake. These are not Tony Gonzalez and I'm trying to think of the guy from Atlanta who I always use in this example, but we'll say Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, right? Not one of these guys. These are also ran. These are replacement player kind of guys, maybe a small level above that. Rodgers turns him into something, and they've never given him real weapons. I mean, Devontae kind of turned into one, but let's be honest, early in his career, Devontae was garbage. He couldn't catch the flu, for fuck's sake. He dropped everything, and he turned into something. So they lucked into one, right? So I don't blame him at all. I 100% don't.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like, I'm not in this whole thing. I'm not super mad at, like, if he wants to enjoy his summer, cool. It was just like I don't do well with like the should we do is he was it like I don't care. Just give me a solution and then I can deal with the solution.
Yeah.
That's like you said, the sports radio part of it. That just kind of like I like some sports radio, but that's a part of it that I just is a hard pass for me.
Red Abbey says maybe B should be the new Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what that means. We're gonna suit you up, put you in the 12, roll you out on Lambeau.
Who knows? Might end poorly, but
Ellie says in this context, it's about listening into something to have something to talk about with others, whether it's a brand, sports team, etc. Yeah, and I think that's what sports is, right? That's the reason why sports is a big part of what we talk about here. The whole premise of this podcast is Brian and I used to get together at the brew pub before people were dying of everything under the sun, and we said, we want to keep doing this. And what did we talk about a lot of the time? Well, it's the same shit we talk about here: sports and tech and mental health, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah. All right, let's move on from Aaron Rodgers. I'm spinning the wheel.
Do it.
Oh,
yes, this is my. I was gonna call this as my flag topic, so yeah. I don't have to throw my flag this week. So
I'm gonna put a warning up really quickly. This is a swear warning. Me. I should make a pop up. Me. Swear warning. I mean, swears are about to come.
This isn't going to be the swear warning for me because I did some research on this one. So
the research isn't going to help.
I mean, you can swear all you want, but a sign addressing systemic racism was recently removed from the Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin public library grounds following vocal criticism from community members, including former Milwaukee Bucks player Steve Novak.
Who I've never heard of, for the record. Never heard of him. No idea who he was.
He's a white guy who went to Marquette. But
okay.
The sign, which was placed in a rock garden display outside the library by a library partner called Bay Bridge, Wisconsin, which is a group that focuses on raising awareness of racial and cultural bias in the community, described its vision for the North Shore suburb. The sign said, Whitefish Bay will be a welcoming community that recognizes systemic racism and actively works to address and dismantle it.
Welcoming community.
How will you be a bridge in helping to repair and build a more equitable community?
How will you be a bridge? Okay.
About a half dozen emails were received criticizing the sign,
6,
including one from a library benefactor and from Novak.
6.
The sign also had community support. So basically, the community kind of decided that they wanted to uprise about this sign and that it was divisive.
It wasn't the community, B. It was 6 fucking people.
Right, but so
it was 6 people. There are probably more people in the library right now than that. 6 fucking people. Okay,
right,
go on.
But do you know it was the person with the money? But do you want my research now?
Sure, give it to
I'll
me.
give you my research. So
Is it going to be research that there was more than 6 people?
no,
Okay, all right, go on.
but so when I thought about this, now what we have to understand about Whitefish Bay in Wisconsin, for those of you who are not aware, Whitefish Bay is a community of 14,000 people that is made up of 84% white residents, according to the 2019 census. Now, we're going to get to some employment data. For those employed, a median yearly salary, hold on to your butts, is $124,397, while per capita, which means per resident, the average yearly salary is $61,830.
Wait, rich
Only
white people don't like the black people? What is going on?
only 4.2% of residents in Whitefish Bay are considered in poverty. And just to give you some stats, $26,500 for a family of 4 is considered a poverty level. Now, in contrast, Milwaukee, those who live in Milwaukee have a median salary of $41,838, a per capita salary of $23,462, and a poverty rate of 25.4%. Now, what I also did, and this is thanks to my wife who actually did a project about this, there was a redlining incident that happened in Wisconsin in the 1930s. And there's actually a redlining map that you may want to pull up if you have the opportunity, Skanzi. But one of the things that I thought about is if we're thinking about this community and why this community and why these 6 people or however many people decided to complain at the desk instead of write these things in an email, why would this community not want to address and dismantle systemic racism? Because the people in this community are the ones, generally speaking, who are benefiting from systemic racism. Now, think about this redlining project. Basically, they rated these communities in the greater Milwaukee area as like good or bad or declining and things like that. Where was Whitefish Bay? Whitefish Bay was in the good stuff, right? Where is Whitefish Bay now? In the good stuff, right? And what does that tell you? That to me talks about what is called generational wealth. Because if we look at the properties in Whitefish Bay from that census, one of the things that it tells you is that 80% of properties are owner occupied properties there. And what is an average property value in Whitefish Bay, you might ask? $380,000. So, what happens considering that in the 1930s this happened, and now we are in the 2020s, so 90 years later, right? How did these properties continue to propagate? You had the wealthy people then who then pass these down to children or relatives or things like that. And that is generational wealth, where these children didn't do anything other than to be born into this wealth, but now they have this property that's worth 400 fucking $1,000, right? Like this is what we talk about when we talk about systemic racism, right? It's a perfect picture. Honestly, it is.
Yeah, I think we're bearing the lead here. Like, yeah, there's a lot of rich people there and a lot of rich white people there. Like, but the problem is, in case you didn't hear me earlier, Chad, it was 6 fucking people. 6 of them out of 14,000. It was fucking 6. Okay, they said a couple more people showed up in person, but it was 6 people. 6 fucking people said, I want to keep things as white as possible. 6 people said, fuck the black people. 6 people said, I don't want any of that black stuff around here. 6 of them. And they caved. This is so fucking infuriating. Like this is like how is there ever going to be any progress whatsoever if 6 fucking angry white people can shut down all of this shit? I don't even have the words. This is so fucking disgusting. Like, it's a fucking sign. It's a sign, and I was going to write down the quotes that you said, which are probably in the sheet here that I now can't look up.
Yeah,
Maybe I
Whitefish
can now.
Bay will be a welcoming community
welcoming community.
that recognizes systemic racism and actively works to address and dismantle it.
They are
How will you
actively working on keeping it going. They're
correct?
actively working on hiding it. They're actively
Yes.
working on making sure that their kids can continue to prosper while everyone else gets a fucking boot to the head. That's what they're working on.
Right.
This
This and people say that this is divisive. This says nothing about any people. It just says that we will understand this and be a bridge to help other people. But they don't want to be the people that are helping others because it's that whole like, well, if I help this person, then it's going to take away from me,
that's
right? Like,
this is just disgusting. Like I don't know that I've ever been to Whitefish Bay. I know
you
like
have.
I think I been there. I know that
Yeah.
I think I know of at least one person that lives there, and I never really liked them that much to begin with, and I'm just gonna rope them in with this fucking group of people. I think I have to at this point. Go fuck yourself. So like I don't even know. I am so I'm flabbergasted. I can't even fucking talk. I've been really pushed lately to get more active in shit. I was kind of pushed forward by buying a house here, and it's like I want to get active in my community and start making changes. And now I think I really need to. Maybe this is an area I need to push at. I know I'm the wrong color, or maybe I'm the right color. Maybe we need more white people to fucking stand up, yelling and screaming, and maybe things will make a difference. I don't know, but like this shit has to stop. I don't want to talk about it anymore because I'm just pissed off. But I am so fucking disgusted by these people.
Right. Like that's the whole point here, right? Is it's just so incredibly frustrating. And it's like we can look at this and we have these conversations week upon week upon week. And it's like something like this, it just reaffirms that we live in this culture where people have these dog whistle terms of, oh, this is divisive. That means that you don't want to talk about it. Oh, this is political. No, it's not political. You are just saying that it's political because people don't like to talk about politics. They don't want to deal with it. But these are things that we need to deal with because if you look at that redlining map and you look at the poverty maps and you look at the lead poisoning maps and you look at all of these maps, they're going to have something in common, but you're not going to like it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, and yeah, I want to get into a couple of the comments here. Elliot said, "Imagine if 6 black people came and complained about a sign." It's a really good point because I think we know that nothing would change, and they would just say, "Ah, oh, they're just angry black people." Old man Wiggum wanted to. He even highlighted his message, so he wanted to make sure, or maybe it's because he tagged me in it. Wanted to make sure that he was very clear that he is not the person in Whitefish Bay that I was talking about. Yeah, I don't know. And I put the message on the screen just in case people, I want to make sure that we're understanding the true message here.
Right. But again, think about this right? Like looking at, you say it's 6 people, but who are these 6 people? It's people with money, people with influence, people with status. What are they caving
It's
to?
just people with the balls
Money,
to run their fucking mouth.
influence, status.
That's what it comes down to. Is there people willing to run their fucking mouth?
But it's the
They're
money, the
entitled.
influence, and
That's
the
what they are.
status too.
They're fucking entitled.
Because
That's what it
again,
comes down
like
to.
well, like Ellie said, if it's 6 black people who don't have money, who don't have influence, and who don't have status, what do? Nothing.
I don't know. We got to make a change. I'm sick of these stories every fucking week. I'm done with it. I don't know how my one fat ass is going to do anything to change it, but something's got to change. I'm spinning, but something's got to fucking change here. All right.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
I was hoping
as if now I'm all amped up, and now we're going to talk about this bullshit. God damn it.
So Coca-Cola, times are changing.
There's probably
Coca-Cola.
6 fucking people who wanted to change Coke Zero too.
Coca-Cola is changing one of its current flagship beverages, Coke Zero, promising an even more iconic Coke taste. So Coke Zero was released in 2005, has had its flavor change before. In 2017, the company said the product was reformulated so that it would taste more like standard Coca-Cola. Some, such as Scanzi, are concerned about the change, remembering the 1985 New Coke debacle. So I don't know a whole lot about this. Like, is this something that's coming? Is it already here? Like, what's the deal with this, Scanzi?
It is starting to hear. It's like people. It's starting to be populated out, so it's not widespread yet. But yeah, it's like this is so garbage. Like leave Coke Zero alone, man. Like I drink so much soda, and I know it's bad for me, but like at least I'm drinking 0 calorie soda, right? So I'm not getting all the fucking sugar, which is probably a good thing for my health. And why are you? Come on, Coke. What the fuck? And I'm trying to find that review that I read because the review was really fucking bad.
The review was like, it tastes like
It
cloves.
tastes like cloves.
Like, what?
And then to make it worse, and I know that a certain old man might be happy about this, but the one person's like, hey, my husband said, hey, I know why you don't like it. Kind of tastes like Diet Pepsi. If I want to drink Diet Pepsi, I'll fucking buy Diet Pepsi. I want Coke Zero for fuck's sake. God damn it. Fuck.
Well, I mean, you could always go to Costco and buy up like all of their 24 packs
I
of
should.
Coke Zero cans.
Just get like a pallet or something.
Yeah, just get a pallet.
Diet
But,
Pepsi's trash.
All right, so that's Coke Zero. Now we are at about 45 minutes. Do we have time for one more? What do we want to do?
Let me see what's on the list. What might we hit?
I would want to hit Bucks, obviously.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the Bucks. That seems
that's
fair.
that's my lean.
Yeah, let's do that. I got a lot to
So-
say about the Bucks. They're my favorite.
I'm sure you do. But so obviously, as I opened the show with, the Milwaukee Bucks are the NBA World Champions for 2021. In a New York Times op-ed, Kelly Korducki talks about what the Bucks winning the championship means for the city of Milwaukee. Korducki says that while a basketball win won't solve the city's problems, it can become a catalyst for renewed investment in a more equal and united urban fabric, which I'm giggling as I'm thinking about this Whitefish Bay story.
Six
But-
people.
But in the meantime, the Bucks have given the world a reason to root for an underdog as it learns to root for itself. So I wanted to talk about this one because I really think that, Christian Yelich getting COVID aside, like that's a whole other conversation, and we'll see what happens in the next week with the COVID cases in Wisconsin. But like it was really good to see like all of these people coming together to support the Bucks and to celebrate and to enjoy this championship run and to have Giannis, who is an immigrant to this country, right? And he's someone who's like, I want to give you hope that it can be done. If you work hard, if you do these things, if you try and you are a good person and you dedicate yourself, and like all of that is just really empowering. Like I love how that goes. And obviously there's the warts too. There's his whole infatuation with Chick-fil-A, and we know how we feel about
very
Chick-fil-A on
disappointing.
this
Very disappointing.
podcast. But like, it's just it really has done a lot to bring people together in the city and to give the businesses, and everybody in this state screams, give the businesses, give the businesses, give the businesses. Well, those businesses downtown had great business for a month plus, right? Like every Bucks game, and even when they were on the road, these bars and restaurants are packed. They're serving people for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, just raking it in. This is all good for the economy of the city.
Yeah, for sure. Like this is super great for Milwaukee. And I'm gonna have to find the article that I think I shared it on Facebook. I don't think it was this one. I think it was a Milwaukee-based article. So I'm gonna try to multitask. But I'm not a Milwaukee fan. I'm not a Milwaukee Bucks fan. I am very anal when it comes to using the term fan, right? Fan is short for fanatic. Don't fucking use it if you're not an actual fanatic for the team, right? That's an issue I have. I am not a Milwaukee Bucks fan. I definitely support them. I want them to do well. I don't have any rooting interest in the NBA, so good. Go Bucks. Go do your thing, and I'm rooting for you. I think it's great. I'm more excited about it being a very positive thing for Milwaukee than for the Bucks themselves, because that matters to me. Here's a link to the article that I was talking about. I actually teared up reading this article. Like this was a really good article, I felt, because it really spoke to Milwaukee as a whole, and all the positive things that are, that this could bring to Milwaukee, which I think is important. Like Milwaukee has a lot of problems. Like we talked about fucking 6 people in Whitefish Bay, and it, there's Milwaukee is the most segregated, or one of the, I think it's normally the most segregated city in the country. It's, it's got a lot of poverty issues and crime issues and those types of things that any decent sized city has. It's a very, very working class, very blue collar town. There's a lot of good people in the Milwaukee area. Like I grew up fucking 60, 70 miles from here, and I loved the place I grew up in. I might end up there again some point. I don't know. But Milwaukee's kind of become my second home, so to speak. I love this area. I haven't lived in Milwaukee. I'm closest now than I've ever been, but it's a good town, and so having something good happen to the people of this town, I think is great. Just fuck the Whitefish Bay people.
Right. And it's just like, if we're thinking about like race relations too, you have like PJ Tucker, a black man, is like, and Bobby Portis too. Like, you have so many people on this team who, there's people out here who are, again, protesting systemic racism and going to the
Right.
library and saying, I don't want this sign. But those are the same 6 people who are down in the Deer District chanting, Bobby, Bobby,
Right.
Bobby, right? Like, and I think that's the chasm that we have, and I'll talk a little bit more about that during my extra point. Stay tuned.
Foreshadowing.
But like, that's where you get to see it in these small increments, in these small bits, right? How there's good in people, but we have to bring out more of that good and not the bad.
Here's the problem, and this is why me trying to make a difference is gonna really struggle, because I'm really good at swearing at people and telling them they're stupid, but I struggle sometimes when they're really, really stupid to not tell them that they're really stupid. But growing up, I watched football with somebody who liked to use a specific derogatory word that starts with the letter N, and this person would also cheer the Packers on and go Sterling Sharp and go Edgar Bennett, and I'm like, well, wait a second. How does that work? Like, I don't get that, right? And that gap that you mentioned, like, I struggle with that a lot, because I guarantee there were some of those assholes up in Whitefish Bay, maybe some of the 6 people who were rooting on the Bucks, who got that Bucks flag outside their $400,000 house, and they're putting Bucks jerseys on their kids. But
I mean, Steve Novak works for Bally's,
right,
Wisconsin.
Right.
He covers the Bucks.
I mean,
Bally's, Wisconsin.
These are people who I guarantee vote for some asshole who wants to kick people out of the country if they weren't born here, right? Whereas the MVP of the finals is a guy who wasn't born here, and he just happens to be a darker skinned individual. So that hypocrisy I struggle with a lot. But you know what? To your point, if we want to look at it positively, maybe there's something you can build off of that. The problem is that when Joe Bob from Whitefish Bay leaves the Deer District after game 6, and somebody cuts him off in traffic, he's going to yell, "You damn N person." And so it's like, you're too stupid to understand it. And there I go again. So that's what I got, B.
Fair enough. Well, again, I just really like everything that this state has been through. Like you said, even with the Packers only winning, 2 Super Bowls with Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre, and the challenges that the Brewers have been through. And obviously, like, I support the Milwaukee Wave, but I'm one of 6 people who goes to those games, right? So it's like, to have the Milwaukee Bucks have this championship, like, we have to, this could be the one time in our lives that happens, right? Like, I don't even think you were alive. Their last championship was older
50
than
years
you.
ago, yeah.
Right? So,
well, and I think the other thing too, the thing that makes it so great is Milwaukee, in my mind, it really has an underdog feel, like the city itself, right? Because it's always the little brother to Chicago, always. And so always Milwaukee has that underdog feel to it. And none of those people that we bitched about earlier wanted Milwaukee to win. I mean, they fuckers didn't even want to come to Milwaukee, because God forbid I got to go to fucking Milwaukee instead of LA. I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, nobody wanted them to win. Like, everybody's bitching about it. Everybody is. And it just kind of feels nice to say, go fuck yourself, because they won it anyway.
And with that, we are going to move on to Random rankings. All right, so this is a great transition. Pat myself on the back, Barry Horowitz style. So, say that your state's basketball team just won the NBA championship,
Oh
or
damn!
you're going out to the club. You know, you're safe, hopefully, maybe.
Boom, boom, boom.
Or you just need a playlist to get you hype. So today, Sconzi and I will be drafting a song of playlists that get us hype. The
Yeah,
rules: snake draft, cannot draft the same song. We will draft 6 songs each, or just keep drafting until we're tired of drafting, similar to how we did the Christmas music draft.
yeah, and we will go ahead and I've already started the playlist on Spotify, which neither Brian or I actually use, but seems to be what everybody else uses. So here's the URL. It's empty right now, so no spoilers. But yeah, so once we get this all drafted, we are gonna create the playlist so you can bump it in your backyard when you're sitting on your new patio equipment smoking a cigar. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
I mean, I'll be there helping you set up your table at some point.
There you go. And on top of that is maybe we'll add some stuff after the fact too to round it out. So
I think so.
So yeah, I think we'll probably do that. So all right, I got the randomizer here. I know there's at least one song that we both have on our list. At least one.
I feel like there's I don't know if it's the clear 101, but I feel like between 101 and 102, it's probably the same 2 songs. It just depends on which order we want them.
I can only think of one. But it doesn't matter because Big C gets to go first. What's up?
Right.
All right, but I got a list here, so I gotta pull it out. It is a snake draft, that's right. I made a playlist today while I was out there smoking a cigar. I'm gonna mute my mic to make sure it doesn't start playing on me.
I just wrote down my stuff in a text document to avoid that.
But yeah, the problem with that though is I don't know who sings all these songs. And so instead of trying to, and like one of the songs I have has like 4 people out that sing the fucking thing. And I was like, I don't want to write all this down. I'll just create a playlist. It's quicker. So I think I might know what the 2 songs are that you're thinking about.
Yeah.
And
well, you're taking one of them, so just take it and rip my heart out and let's call it a day.
I think I'm not going to take the one that I think is your 101. I am going to take All the Way Up.
Oh, okay.
Fat Joe and Remy Ma with French Montana. That's the one I'm going with.
So All the Way Up is my 103, which means I get my 101 and my 102.
Well, there you go.
So, like I said, All the Way Up was my 103. So I actually have these listed kind of in like a draft order because, you know, me, planner.
Yeah.
So my 101. Whenever I build a playlist to get me hyped, this is always on that playlist.
I already added it. Just say it.
It's already on the playlist. This song, when we got married, when my wife and I got married, not Christopher and I, Christopher did propose to me at some point.
I did.
That's a whole other story. But when my wife and I got married, the one thing that I told my DJ was this has to be the final song of the night. And I still have a video on my phone of everybody who was left.
I might need that video because I don't remember that.
To this song. And it is All I Do Is Win by DJ Khaled.
Yeah, I've already got that on there.
So that one was my easy 101. And then for my next pick, I'm totally stealing one from you. So I'm sorry. We're going to go with Selfie by the Chainsmokers. Okay.
That was not going to be one of mine, but that's
all right. All right. See, that one is one that I always just like because that's just kind of fun.
It is a jam. Yeah, it wasn't because I was really focusing on like I want to get. My thought was I'm in the car and I'm jamming out. That was my thought.
Got you.
And Selfie isn't one of my latest in the car jams. It just it's just not.
Gotcha.
So now I'm gonna go with a little bit of Eminem, but maybe not the one that most like. Eminem's had a lot of big songs. This one, not as huge of a song. I don't know if a lot of people know this one as much, but it is Phenomenal by Eminem. Like this is a super hype jam. Like this was always number one on my workout playlist. Like this is a big jam. And then I think I'm gonna. Ooh, do I go to that one early? I don't know. I think I'm gonna wait. I think I'm gonna throw a curveball in here.
Okay, give it to me.
I am gonna take Awake from Godsmack.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Nice.
So a little bit of heavy jam after all this boom
Right.
boom shit.
All right. So now I have kind of a cluster here, right? And there's a couple in here that are all the same. So I don't know if I'm going to go back to back, but I'm for sure going to. Ooh, this is hard because I have three songs that are all very similar, but just slightly different. So I think that this song is one that kind of would translate any kind of like getting hype. It's just like, are you going out to the club? Are you celebrating? Like, are you just jamming? And that's Sexy and I Know It by LMFAO.
Oh, I was gonna take that. That's my
So,
theme song, you little
so,
bitch.
so that one I'm going to go with. Now, I think I might skip. I don't know. Ooh, I don't know. Oh, man. Okay. I kind of have these in tiers. And I feel like this middle tier, anything that's in my lower tier, like I wouldn't be like real sad if I missed out on it. So I think I'm going to have to go back to back. We're going Shots by Lil Jon.
Oh, good one. Good one. That one was on my list too.
All right.
I'm so irritated you took my theme song, dude. That really pisses me off. So instead, this one was not even on my list, but since you took theme song number one, this one's not even it's not even in Spotify.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, there it is. It is there. So I'm going to take theme song, the original. The original. This one goes back years. The Sconzi theme song before Sconzi was even a Sconzi.
Is it Rico?
It is. Oh, I forgot about Rico. No, this is by the man himself, Dennis Leary. And the song is Asshole because that's what I am, folks. Welcome to it, baby.
Got you.
And then I got to do this one because this is just a super jam. And this is one it's got 17 people on it. Diplo, French Montana, Lil Punk, featuring Xavier or something. Welcome to the party, baby.
Yep. That one didn't make my list, but I definitely considered it.
It's a jam. It's a super
All
jam.
right. So now I actually have two songs left from my middle tier, but I don't know that I'm going to take both of them. I think first are we going to keep going or are we just going to stop at 6?
Now, we can do a couple more. We're running, we're doing good on time. So let's say, I don't know, 3-4 more, a couple more rounds.
Okay, cool. So first one I'm going to take is 24 Karat Magic, Bruno Mars.
Oh, okay.
That one is one that I like to get hype on. Then I come back here and I'm a little bit stuck, but I think I'm going to have to go with some Brewers nostalgia here. And we're going to go with I Got a Feeling by the Black Eyed Peas. That was the old 2011 celebration song.
I've got a feeling. I'm choking. 1 second.
It's okay. You got the old Coke Zero that tastes like deliciousness. And
Yeah, it doesn't taste like that garbage. All right, I'm starting to run low on my list here. I kind of feel like Wiggum threw out AC/DC Thunderstruck. Like that's a legit song.
Yeah.
What do I want to go with? I don't know why this one gets me jacked, but it really does. And I think it's because of the whole event thing that happened online. But I'm going with Happier.
Okay.
From Marshmello and Bastille.
Okay.
I think that's a legit one. Happier. So let me add that to the list, and then I'm gonna go with one that is completely out of the ordinary. It is not one that anybody would expect from me. Probably it is 100% completely different than anything on this list, and I'm going back to 1970 something. I think Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum. You know that one, B?
Nope.
All right, we have to check it out. I hope that's the right one. Now I got to play it.
Right.
I'm on mute.
Nice. All right. Well, while Sconzi's checking out his thing, I will let you know what my next two picks would be. So I still have one song left in my middle tier, but I don't think I'm going to take it. Instead, well, maybe I'll take it. I don't know. But first, I am going to go a little bit off the beaten path here. We are going to go with Christina Aguilera, Dirty.
Oh, okay.
I like that one.
And there like two
Now,
R's in that one or something?
yep,
Okay.
yep.
All right, let's call this next one the last round. So take your last pick.
All right. So this one that's in my middle tier, if we add more, I know that we'll both agree on this song, so I won't pick that one. But instead, I'm gonna go way out of where I am right now and pick "Fight for Your Right," Beastie Boys.
Nice. I like it. I like it. Fight for your right. Right. Well, I was trying to think of some like another crazy out of the way one. God knows I know a lot of those, but I think I'm gonna go with something. I'm gonna double dip. I'm going back to Eminem with Lil Wayne, "Drop the World." Actually, I don't know if I want that one or the other one. No, I'm gonna go with the Eminem song. What is the Eminem song? Because they both did songs and they worked. No Love, that's the one. No Love. Because that one like kind of pisses me off and it makes me think about people that I don't like fucking people in Whitefish Bay. So that's it.
All right.
That's the list. So I didn't write these down, so we might have to write them. I don't think we need to write them down. So let me do a recap. So this is your playlist, everybody. The link is in the chat. I will copy it and stick it in there again, just so you've got it in case you missed it. Here it is on Spotify. And the list is all the way up, featuring Fat Joe, Remy Ma, French Montana, and some other people that cuts it off. All I Do Is Win with DJ Khaled, Snoop Dogg, T-Pain, Ludacris, a bunch of other people. Selfie by the Chainsmokers. Phenomenal from Eminem. Awake by Godsmack. Sexy and I Know It. B stole it from me like a little son of a bitch. LMFAO. Shots. LMFAO and Lil Jon. Asshole by Dennis Leary. If you haven't heard it, it's fucking amazing. It doesn't say it's explicit, so I'm thinking this might be the fucking one that's all the bleeps on it or something. So if it is, go listen to a different one. Welcome to the party.
You also put the Beatles on there, so we gotta edit that one up.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'll fix that. 24K Magic, Bruno Mars. I've got a feeling the Black Eyed Peas, not the Beatles. We're gonna remove the Beatles. Remove from the playlist. Happier, Marshmello and Bastille. Spirit in the Sky, Norman Greenbaum. Dirty, Christina Aguilera and Redman. Fight for Your Right, Beastie Boys. No Love, Eminem, and Lil Wayne.
Nice. Now, loyal listeners, do you want us to expand on this list? Do you want us to see, like, we could add Thunderstruck by Old Man Wiggum. We could add the one that I had in the middle of my list, which is Party Rock Anthem by LMFAO.
Wait, why are we adding another one?
No, but I'm just saying, like, if we wanted to round this list out, like, later on.
All right, we'll give Wiggum Thunderstruck. Has anybody else got an add-on other than B? You've already got 8 songs, dude. You don't get to add nothing more.
Right.
We'll give you like 20 seconds as we get ready to go into our extra point for those who are new to the show. After we go through our topics for the week and we do our random rankings, which changes every week. This week, obviously, we did music. We have an extra point where we take a few minutes to chat about whatever's kind of on our mind, in our hearts, and what we feel like sharing with the world. So that's what we're going to do. I think that took about 20 seconds or so for me to spit that out. I don't see any more responses. I'll give you to the end of the extra time. If you have another comment that you want to add in there. You haven't had one. Everybody only gets one.
Or
but if you got that,
you can tweet it to us at AQ_PROD once you listen to this.
That's actually a really good idea.
Add it because, these things are not like, they're not just set in stone. This isn't a fantasy football magazine from 2002 where,
Barry Sanders is the number one player.
You put it to print in May, and then by September it's out of date.
It's true. All right, we're gonna move on to Brian's extra point. His camera's super small here too.
Very tiny. So this week, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, and I think I may be stealing Sconzi's extra point, so I'm sorry. I'm going to
Better
steal
not,
this from you,
bastard. You're
just
stealing
like
shit all
you
night long.
stole, just like the song. But I've just been seeing a lot of negativity lately. Like I've been seeing people being like, "Why do I have to use my pronouns?" I've been seeing a lot of, "Why do I have to do this? Why? With me." And one of the things that I've been thinking about is, taking that step back and instead of putting the blame on other people and being like, "What about me?" Like take that minute to stop and think about and say, "How would honoring this request that someone else is asking be harmful, right?" Because there are times where someone might make a request of you that's harmful and you definitely shouldn't do it. But if someone's saying, "Hey, like I would really appreciate you acknowledging my pronouns or listing your pronouns so that I can um, address you correctly," like how is it harmful to respond positively to that request? How is it harmful to be kind to other people instead of tearing them down, right? Like ask yourself that question, because if it's something that's tearing you down, sure, like don't do that. But if it's something that's going to make other people's lives better and it doesn't make your life any worse to do it, there's no reason to not try, right? Like that's this whole thing with like, Sconzi's going to talk about the 6 people in Whitefish Bay. Those 6 people were actively trying to tear something down instead of they could have just turned the eye and said, "I don't like this. This doesn't apply to me." But there are other people who might see this message and feel supported. But instead it's like, "No, it's all about me." So the next time, and we talk about this mental health stuff a lot, right? So it's always hard when people are asking you to do stuff, but it's really important to have that empathy and to try to put yourself in this other person's shoes and to ask yourself that question of, how is it going to harm me to honor this request? Because if it's not something that's going to harm you, maybe you're making somebody else's life better, and maybe in a roundabout way that will make your life better, even if you don't know it or realize it yet. So that's what I got for you this week. Thank you for your ears and your eyes as always.
Oh wow, my camera's all messed up here. As I try to fix that live chat, let me just remind you. 6 fucking people. 6. 6 people, chat. It was 6 people. Just so you know. All right. That almost works a little bit. Not quite, but a little bit. Anyway, I'm gonna be half cut off as I'm trying to do this. So you did kind of steal a little bit what I wanted to talk about, a little bit, B, but not really. So I really wanted to talk about empathy, which is kind of what Brian was talking about in a way. Empathy came up this week on my favorite new platform, the Nextdoor app, baby. I'm on the Nextdoor app now, and it's crazy. There's a lot more than 6 assholes on there, but so somebody made a post on there, and I normally, I've been quiet. It's been like a week or two. I've been quiet. I had to say something. So basically, someone's like, "Hey, my neighbors were partying till like 10:45, and it was still going. I'm trying to sleep, and people have to work in the morning, and yada 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 yada." And it's like they're just bitching and moaning. And I was like, "Hey, why don't you think about, those people who stay up late, or maybe the people that work second shift. Do you think about them when you're mowing your lawn at 8 o'clock in the fucking morning on Saturday? The neighbors mowed their lawn at 8 o'clock this morning. Like I was up because I had to work, but like, what if I work second shift or something? Like nobody thinks about that, right? And that's what I'm just saying. Like, and they're like, well, that's a different situation. Not really. Because it's all about empathy. It's about thinking of somebody else, putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. That's what it all comes down to. Because so much of this bullshit that we hear from people, like those 6 motherfuckers up in Whitefish Bay, is they're not thinking about anybody but them goddamn selves. That's all it is. People are just so stuck in this me mentality that they don't take the time. A lot of them probably don't even have the ability. They sure as hell don't have the need or the desire to think about something in somebody else's shoes, to put themselves actually in somebody else's shoes. And that's so important. I don't know what it's like to be a black man in Milwaukee. I don't know what it's like to be a gay man in Milwaukee. I don't know what it's like to be a lot of different things, but that doesn't mean that I can't empathize with the situation that they're in. Like, I don't know the exact situation. I'm going to feel different when I'm in certain situations. I've made a comment on this podcast before that I'll fucking get antsy and angry with the cops if they pull my ass over. It's like, I'm not fucking doing nothing. Leave me the fuck alone. I sure as hell wouldn't say that if I was a black guy. That's all I'm saying. But I can empathize with the situation that, you know what? I know that I'm privileged because of that. And I can empathize. I can understand to some degree, as much as I can, just from my point of view, I can kind of understand the situation that some people are in. And I think the problem is a lot of people, like, everybody has that ability to some degree, but a vast majority of people, in my opinion, don't have any desire to do that, because it's all about me and mine. And that's all they're looking internally constantly. They're never looking externally. They're never trying to understand someone else's point of view. And I think that if we did that more, then maybe we'd have a little bit better understanding. You know, if person number 4 out of that fucking group of 6 assholes, if they took a second to say, well, how would my child feel if they were one of 2 people in their entire class that looked the way that they did? How would my child feel if people were saying these derogatory terms out on the playground? How would my child feel if I had to teach them how to not get shot by the fucking cops? I think it's pretty powerful. Problem is, people don't want to have to think about that. And on top of that, which makes it worse, is they would rather perpetrate these and continue to push these agendas, because if I don't have to have that conversation with my kid, great, I know my kid is safe. And you know what? If that means somebody else's kid is a little bit less safe, well, you know what? My kid's safe, so I don't really care. And that's what takes you from being an idiot to being a fucking asshole in my mind. That's what I've got, B.
All of what you said there is very divisive, Christopher.
Yeah, well, I didn't say I was good at trying to fix this shit.
Definitely not divisive, right? Like, these are conversations that we need to have, and we had lots of good conversations today here on We Random. So, for you, loyal listener, if you want to find us, as we said, Twitter, AQ_PROD is where you can tweet things at us. You can also tweet me directly at LandmarkMKE. You can tweet Sconzi at Sconzi. You can find Sconzi on Amazon Sidewalk and all other places where Amazon, lets his data be out in the world. You can find us on Facebook. You can find Sconzi on the Nextdoor app and maybe on Tinder as a 71-year-old man.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So if you want to get in contact with us, we are definitely happy to hear from you. We definitely want to support you, and we want to continue to have you support us. So it's a mutually beneficial relationship. But until next time, we will bid you adieu. We will say thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody. Six people!